Are you an idiot? I sure am. If I could go back in time and teach myself how to code, I'd be a lot less of an idiot. I'd save myself from countless hours of frustration, the dead-end tutorials, and the projects that went nowhere. The title of this video is How I Would Learn to Code If I Wasn't an Idiot. And trust me, I'm qualified to teach you how to not be an idiot because I've made every mistake in the book. This video isn't necessarily about which language to pick or which framework is the hottest right now. It's about a different mindset, a smarter, more effective way to approach the whole thing from the very beginning. My first mistake was thinking that I needed to know everything before I could do anything. I was stuck in what I now call the tutorial trap. I watched hours of videos on JavaScript, then Python, then Rust, but I never built anything. I was just collecting knowledge like a digital hoarder. I was paralyzed by the idea that my first project wouldn't be perfect, so I never actually started it. And so the first thing that I would do differently is I would start with a ridiculously small personal project that solves a real problem. Please, whatever you do, do not start with a to-do list app. Almost everyone on the planet Earth has made a to-do list app. It's the hello world of real-world projects, and it's super boring. Instead, think about a tiny little annoyance in your own life and solve it with code. For example, you could do something like this. Say that you're someone that always forgets to take out their trash cans to the curb on garbage day. It seems super simple, but it's actually a weekly battle for a lot of people. And so you can build a simple script that checks your town's trash pickup schedule and then sends a text message reminder the night before to bring out your trash. It's a stupid, simple problem, but it's a problem that most people have. And the best part is that it's an immediate win, and it gives you the fuel that you need to keep going. My second major mistake was ignoring the fundamentals. I wanted to build cool stuff right away, so I learned just enough to get by. And this leads me to my second major mistake, which is ignoring the fundamental. Now, don't get me wrong, you can learn a lot by just jumping into a project and learning the fundamentals on your way, but please, whatever you do not allow ChatGPT to write all of your code and you not take the time to learn what that code is actually doing. Anyone can copy and paste code that works, but the thing that will separate you is understanding why your code works. If you're just blindly copying and pasting code from ChatGPT or Stack Overflow, it's like learning to say hello in a foreign language without actually learning how to ask for help when you're lost. And so if I could go back, I would have more dedicated time to understand core concepts. This doesn't mean you need a computer science degree, but it means that you need to understand things like data structures, algorithms, and object-oriented programming. It's the difference between being a mechanic who can only replace a part and a mechanic who knows why the engine is making that weird noise. A way that you can make the fundamentals a better experience is to make them fun. I wouldn't just read a textbook, I'd find a game or a puzzle that required me to use these concepts. Maybe I'd build a little script to solve a Sudoku, or I'd write a simple game like tic-tac-toe. When you're having fun, you absorb information so much faster. It's actually the difference between memorizing a list of facts and building a mental model of how something actually works. The third idiotic thing that I did was compare myself to other people. I'd go on GitHub and see these flawless projects by developers with years and years of experience, and I'd think, I'll never be that good. Imposter syndrome is a real thing, and it can stop you in your tracks. If I could go back, I'd embrace the mess. Your first code will be ugly, it will be inefficient, and it will probably barely work, and that is perfectly okay. The goal is to make it work, not make it beautiful. My past self would have been ashamed of a messy project, but my current self knows that a working, messy project is 1,000 times better than a perfectly planned project that never gets finished. The fourth idiotic thing that I did was try to learn every technology at once. I'd see a new framework, a new language, a new database, and I'd jump right on the bandwagon. I was a mile wide and an inch deep. Hey, yo, what?
What? What are you talking about, man?
I knew a little about everything and was good at nothing. This leads to burnout and a total lack of confidence because you feel like you're falling way behind. And so if I could start over, I'd go deep on one thing. I'd pick a technology stack, say Python for the backend and a simple front-end framework like React, and I'd stick with that until I was truly competent. This doesn't mean you can never learn anything else. It means that you build a solid foundation first. Think of it like a toolbox. You don't need every tool on your shelf, you just need the core set of tools to be really good at using them. Once you master a hammer and a screwdriver, you can learn how to use a power saw. The fifth major mistake was not building anything for other people. I was building things just for me, which was great for a while, but it's a bubble. The real world of coding is collaborative. It's about solving problems for others, and that's where you get the most valuable feedback. If I could go back, I would have found a small local nonprofit or a friend with a business and offered to build something simple for them for free. When a real person is relying on your code, the stakes are higher, and you learn at a different level. You learn about communication, setting expectations, and building a product that's actually useful to someone besides yourself. This kind of experience is priceless, and it's what truly separates a hobbyist from a professional. The sixth mistake was not understanding the power of a single platform. I spent years dabbling in different languages and environments, but I never got a feel for the ecosystem of any single platform. I'd write a Python script for a simple task, and then switch to JavaScript for a web page, and then use a C++ library for a game. I was constantly relearning basic things. If I could go back, I'd pick one platform and master it. For me, that would have been the web. The web is the most powerful development platform in the world. It's everywhere, it runs on phones, on TVs, and on your desktop. If you know how to build for the web, you can build almost anything. And within the web, I would have focused on the 3 pillars: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I would have learned them so well that they were second nature. This allows you to build anything that you can imagine, and then you can layer more advanced tools like React later on. My 7th and final mistake was not treating my code like a garden. I'd write something, get it to work, and then move on. I never went back to refactor, to clean up my code, or make it better. My projects were these sprawling, messy jungles of code that were impossible to maintain. If I could go back, I'd practice good hygiene from the start. I'd spend time making my code readable, writing comments, and breaking down complex functions into smaller, more manageable pieces. I'd see my code as a living thing that needs to be cared for. It's not just about building something, it's about building something that's easy to maintain, easy to fix, and easy for others to understand. This is a skill that only comes from practice, but it's what separates a hacksman from a true craftsman. So, to sum it all up, this is how I would learn to code if I wasn't an idiot. First, start with a tiny personal project. Solve one of your own problems. Second, don't ignore the fundamentals. Find a way to make them fun. Third, embrace the mess. Your first code will be terrible, and that's a sign that you're doing it right. Fourth, go deep on one thing. Don't be a mile wide and an inch deep. Fifth, get a real-world client. Build something for someone else to get invaluable feedback. Sixth, master one platform. And finally, practice good code hygiene. Treat your code like a garden, not a dumpster. It's a long journey, but if you start with these principles, you'll be a lot smarter than I was, and you'll get to the fun part of coding a whole lot faster. Okay, that's it. Bye.